Hi there, my name is Faraj. We're all bunkered down, keeping safe in isolation, so why don't you share some stories? Today we're in my office study, and we're going to be looking at a story about one of Jesus' disciples in the New Testament book of Mark towards the end of chapter 14. You might be uncertain or fearful about how some things are going in your life. So today we're going to look at that for us as Christians, it is God who gets us through every situation. Whether your life is in danger or you're afraid to stand up for your faith, it is God who enables us to follow Him, love Him, and serve Him by His Holy Spirit. So let's not waste any time and dive straight into the story. There was a man named Peter. Here he is, cute little guy. I picked him as a guy because he's a bit of a goofy character sometimes in the Gospels. He's got that who knows what he'll do next kind of a vibe about him. He was one of the 12 disciples of Jesus. Here's Jesus as an eraser, because he erases our sins away. The disciples were Jesus' closest followers and friends. They spent the entire time of Jesus' ministry with him, and Peter was the closest to Jesus. And I've got the disciples as pencils here because they, make mistakes and Jesus erases them. Now, leading up to the arrest of Jesus, soon after the Last Supper, Jesus tells his disciples that they're all about to fall away and stop following him when he gets arrested. But Peter declared that even if all fall away, I will not. Jesus answered, "Today, yes, tonight, before the rooster crows twice, you yourself will disown me 3 times. But Peter insisted emphatically, "Even if I have to die, I will never disown you." And all the others said the same. Then sometime that evening, Jesus went with his disciples to pray. Here Jesus was resolved to do what he was sent here to do: die on the cross in our place and come back to life. Then, just as Jesus finished praying, the soldiers, along with the officials of the high priest, came to arrest Jesus. Because the high priest and the Pharisees, they all wanted Jesus dead. Here are the soldiers as thumbtacks. And so they arrested Jesus and took him away. And at this point, the disciples scattered. But Peter decided to follow Jesus and the soldiers into the courtyard of the place where they were questioning Jesus. He stood there nearby, warming himself by the fire. When a servant girl comes by and looks closely at him, she recognizes him. She says out loud, "Hey, you also were with that man called Jesus." But Peter denies this and says, "I don't know what you're talking about." But the girl wasn't convinced. She said to those standing around, "This fellow is one of those Jesus followers." But Peter just denied it, saying, "No, I'm not." After a while, those standing around weren't buying it. They said, "Mate, come on, surely you are one of them. I mean, you're from the same region as Jesus." And Peter began to call down curses at them and swore to them, "I don't know this man." Immediately, the rooster crowed. And Peter remembered Jesus' words, Before the rooster crows twice, you will disown me." And Peter broke down and wept. I mean, how did this happen? Peter is supposed to be one of Jesus' closest followers. How can he deny knowing Jesus like that? Peter was meant to be the guy that would pass on Jesus' teaching to others. And he can't even say to a servant girl that he knows him. But Peter was afraid. Even though he saw Jesus heal the sick, raise the dead, walk on water, all of that wasn't enough to overcome his fear to follow, love, and serve Jesus. The problem is the human heart. We're unable to follow God without God. He needs to change our hearts by His Holy Spirit so that we can truly follow Him, serve Him, and love Him. The Israelites also saw many miracles. They saw great plagues, the Great Sea part, a mountain on fire, pillars of fire and smoke, the ground open up and swallow people. And they still couldn't keep themselves from turning away from God. Thankfully, God did promise to change their hearts. So He sent Jesus to die on the cross in our place so that we don't have to pay the punishment for living our own way instead of God's way. So when we are forgiven by God, by putting our trust in Jesus and what He's done for us on the cross, we receive the Holy Spirit and our hearts are changed. Look at the change in Peter in the book of Acts in chapter 2. This happens soon after Jesus resurrects, meets with his disciples, and then ascends into heaven. The Holy Spirit finally comes and descends on all of them with the appearance of tongues of fire. And when Peter received the Holy Spirit, he stood up and addressed the crowd of thousands that were gathering nearby for a major festival. What a contrast! Just earlier, Peter couldn't even admit to a servant girl that he knew Jesus. And now he's addressing a crowd of thousands. So as we face the coming trials, see how God changed Peter so that he could stand up for Jesus fearlessly. It was God who enabled him to follow him, love him, and serve him by his Holy Spirit. And if you're someone who hasn't met Jesus yet, can I encourage you to read the book of Mark? It's online and it's free.